is Rachel Basin. I'm here with a video for my Dance 108 course at UNLV, also known as the Pilates 1 course. The exercises I'll be demonstrating today will be using resistance bands. Resistance bands come in a variety of colors, which usually represents the weight. There are a variety of different brands that you can use. One of the good things I love about Pilates is it focuses on an eccentric movement versus concentric movements. So today the videos will be focusing on upper body strength. So I'll be doing biceps, triceps, deltoids, and my rhomboid, which helps support my shoulder. Eccentric movements gives you that elongated look. That's why dancers have that longness to them. However, they're still very strong versus the concentric movement, which gives you that bulkier, heavier look. So let's begin. Biceps are going to be the first movement that I want to demonstrate using our resistance band. One of the things I said earlier in my intro that I love about Pilates is their eccentric movements, which gives you a longer, leaner look versus concentric movements that gives you a more bulkier, heavier look. And a lot of ladies, like myself, avoid doing things like bicep curls because you just don't want to have that big, bulky, bulging muscle. We're going to do 3 different groups in this resistance band training. Not only am I going to concentrate on the bicep muscles, but in the same token, I'm going to focus on the brachialis muscles, which are the muscles that help the elbow bend, as well as the brachioradialis muscles, which are on the forearm, and they're responsible for having your arm turn. Alrighty, so that little twisting motion there. Again, let's make sure that we are strong and healthy in everyday life. Not only when we're doing our Pilates, but when you're going to the grocery store and you have to lift your bags and get them out of the car, put things on shelves, all of the movements that we're going to be doing today in our upper body are going to help to strengthen those muscles. So how do we begin with this? I'm going to stand on my band, 1 foot on the band, the other one is just on my mat. Toes are going to be in a line, so I'm making sure my toes are pointed forward and they are in a line, hip width apart. I'm going to engage my pelvic floor, ensuring my tissue's tight. I'm going to engage my abs. But before we do that, let's go ahead and grab our resistance band. I'm going to take my opposite hand that I won't be working and just pull the band towards me a little. The hand and the arm that I will be using for the curls is going to slide it down the band here and then drop it. This gives me the proper resistance that I need and helps with the range of motion that I want to use in order to make sure I'm doing the exercise properly. On the inhalation, I'm ensuring again my shoulders are depressed, meaning back and down, because you don't want to have any tension or stress in your neck and shoulder muscles. We're going to just be working those muscles in our arm and forearm. On the inhalation, I'll be breathing. Exhalation, I'm going to just be bringing my hand up to my shoulders. My palm is facing upward and my hand towards the shoulder, ensuring that my shoulders are depressed, my abs are engaged, as well as my pelvic floor. All right, inhale, exhale. I'm going to change my hand position a little so that I'm working on that brachioradialis muscle. So it's more of a fist. This little donut hole part of my hand is going to be coming up to my shoulder now. You notice I'm engaged. I'm not rocking. I'm not pulling up like this and moving like this. All right? Everything is nice and tight, and the only movement is in my biceps and forearm. Since we're already in the position that we need to be, ensuring that we've got the proper amount of tension, let's move on to deltoids. Your deltoid muscles are the shoulder muscles. Alrighty? Again, as I said earlier, lifting and carrying things is going to be so important, and making sure those muscles are nice and strong as we age is critical. So therefore, what I'm going to do now is take my opposite hand that I wasn't doing the curls and just grab the band. Ready? So now we're going to go into deltoids. When I perform this movement, what you're going to see is, again, engagement in all of my lower area, shoulders depressed and down, but my elbow is going to go out. My fingers are going to stay in a line with my wrist. Alrighty? And I'm going to draw the band up to my armpit. All right? Inhale. Exhale. Notice again, shoulder is back. Alrighty. So that's the one side. Everything is symmetrical in Pilates. So we're going to make sure that we work the other bicep and deltoids. Change my hand position. Biceps, deltoids. Moving onward, I'm going to talk about that troubled area, especially for me, the triceps. Okie dokie. Those triceps get a bit wobbly, and I want to make sure they're nice and toned without that bulk. So just that nice, long, lean look. And the way that we're going to use our resistance band in order to do this is an exercise called chariot. In order to perform the chariot, I'm going to take my exercise band and stretch it out along the floor here, or on my mat. Kneeling on the band here. Hips, knees hip width apart. In order to stabilize myself, I'm going to create a little tripod or triangle with my feet pressing together. So if you notice, look in that little area, see how I've got my feet pressed together? It's very important for me to tighten that tushy, have my abs engaged. Ready? Pelvic floor activated. Triceps consist of 3 different muscles, and I'm going to do 3 different hand movements in order to make sure I focus on every part of my triceps, giving me that great upper body arm strength that I desire. Grabbing the band, the little slack, first movement I'm going to do is just pulling the band back and having my arms with the palms facing backwards. Alrighty? So important that I engage and have my shoulders depressed so that I'm not doing this. I'm just pulling the band back on the exhalation. Right? Let's begin. All right, changing hand position. Going to now hold it so my palms are facing inward. arms traveling backwards on the exhalation. All right, last position, palms facing forward. Inhale, exhale, ensuring those shoulders are back, and this is a little harder, but pull that band behind you, ensuring that you stay engaged so you're not leaning forward, not rocking forward. Just keep that tushy tight, keep those abs tight, breathing out and working those tricep muscles. And that exercise is called chariot. Crack the walnut. I recognize it's a pretty funny name with a pretty obscure concept, but what does that refer to? I'm going to envision that I have a walnut placed between my shoulder blades or my scapula. And remember, that's the little triangle bones in your back area there. In Pilates, we refer to scapular depression a lot. Scapular depression, again, is when you raise and then lower your shoulder blades, pressing your scapula into the mat, ensuring that you are not going to have any neck injury or strain and things like that. You notice that just by being in scapular depression right now, how my posture just improved? That's what we're aiming for. Again, strength, mobility, flexibility are the key factors in Pilates. In order to do this movement, I'm going to be sitting in neutral spine. Remember, neutral does not mean inactive. We're going to ensure that we are engaging our pelvic floor as well as our abdominal muscle. And take my band and I'm going to wrap it around my feet. Notice here, my toes are going to be pointed down because I want activity and energy throughout my body without this movement. This gives more resistance. On the inhale, I'm just relaxed. Exhaling, I'm going to lift and then put my shoulders together, shoulder blades together, okay? And then my elbows will be out and then back, okay? Inhale, exhale, shoulders back, elbows out and back. Inhale, exhale, squeeze those shoulder blades together as though you are trying to crack that walnut. Shoulders out and back. Crack the walnut, ensuring that you are using your rhomboid muscles to strengthen those shoulder blades, helping with your scapular depression as well as improvement of your posture.